I'm curious about what people think about the origin of the virus. I mean, we've had some people on that have talked about the fact that there's no way it could have just, crossed over from animal to human in that wet market in Wuhan. And there was some evidence of, previous, I don't even know how to explain it, testing and fabrication of these types of viruses in various labs that were passed around the world. Sometimes Dr. Fauci being complicit in that $3.7 million being funded to that Wuhan lab after that virus left somewhere in North Carolina. Just want to get your thoughts on that and then the panel's thoughts.
So that was one of our videos, COVID-19 conspiracy ? It was the third one, corrupted agenda. That was the first video that was taken off YouTube after it hit 1 million views in about 2 days. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but I didn't have much of it. So I only had 1,400 YouTube subscribers. And that video hit 1 million views in 2 days. So they took that off. And then, of course, the subsequent videos started getting taken down. So that video described and showed the actual studies published in Nature magazine that COVID-19 is really, now let me back up for a second. Coronavirus has been around, described and written about, data published on, studies done on since the 1960s. COVID-19 is a derivative of that was basically published as far back as 2015, the work that was being done on it. And it's basically a viral, it's a coronavirus surface antigen, SHC014 component. Then they took the SARS coronavirus component, took the backbone of it, combined it, and then they took orthologs from MERS and HIV and some other things and put it on there. So this is what they called a chimeric derivative, or it's a chimeric process, and chimera is basically where you make a Frankenstein version of whatever the original naturally occurring pathogen is. And they use this to determine pandemic potential, and they take it through what they call a gain of function. So they take something that has some capacity and they make it more virulent, they make it more resistant, they make it more stronger, and they do that under the justification that we're making this to go through a gain of function, making it more damaging so that we can assess the probability of it having pandemic potential. And there were many virologists that were against this, and they complained. And essentially in 2014, the US government passed a moratorium on doing any more chimeric research. Well, Dr. Fauci then continued what was already happening at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with samples that were obtained from Fort Detrick. And instead of continuing the research in North Carolina, they then transferred that to Wuhan. And one of the researchers at University of North Carolina, Dr. Shi, I think is her name, it's all on the video. She was actually at the University of North Carolina. She went back to Wuhan. There were also professors there or researchers there from Harvard and from Sweden. And the COVID-19 today, the COVID-19 it's obviously a derivative of the coronavirus, but COVID-19 is actually patented. You cannot patent a naturally occurring component or compound. So coronavirus can't be patented, but COVID-19 is patented. Why is it patented? Because it's not naturally derived. Things don't just leap from, like you said, from bats to humans or sloths to humans. But COVID-19 is not the first one to do that. They were able to actually successfully get viruses to leap from these same bats back in 2012 doing research with coronavirus. So they'd already figured that part out. The naturally occurring coronavirus or the naturally occurring virus from bats did not culture well in humans. So they took it through this chimeric derivative process and made it so that it could survive in human cultures. So we know that this research was done. We know that the research was funded, continued to be funded after the government passed a moratorium in 2014. Dr. Fauci then funded the research in 2015, having a very high level of a directorship at the NIH. He had the potential, he had the ability to bypass that, and he did so, and then continued to, the research was continued to do in Wuhan. Now, whether Wuhan released it on purpose, it didn't, whether it was the technology that was transferred or the actual, I have no idea. I'm not privy to that information, but certainly it was moved from the United States, the research that was being done, that was published in Nature, and then continued in Wuhan after 2015.
All right, so what's the question we could ask the panel as far as, an origin of this, or, what's the question we can ask?
So the question I would think would be, is this COVID-19, how many doctors feel that COVID-19 is not naturally occurring, that it's man-made.
Okay, raise your hand if you feel it's man-made. Let's take a look through here. Okay, first page is everyone. Second page is everyone. Third page is everyone I can see with their hands. Wow. Yeah, I'm blown away by this. Like, this is 100% of the people I can see with their faces. Maybe one or two aren't raising hands.
So Dr.
Okay.
Ozana, Roy Ozan, can you bring that a little bit closer to the screen?
Is there anything we can say on top of that, Buttar, just to,
I do not know. Okay.
to qualify that anymore? Like, is there any way we can, so everyone believes it's synthetic or man-made. Is there anything else we can say to find out a little bit more about what they think? I mean, yeah. I mean, while we're on this topic, is there any other question we can do to kind of glean some more thoughts on this? I mean, you know.
I'll just talk about H1N1 for a second. That was 10 years ago. President Obama predicted that 60 million Americans were going to die. 20% of the population was going to die. But that didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Because in mass, people refused to take the vaccine. It was protested in Germany, even though the government said they were going to pay for 98% of the population to get inoculated. In the UK, they protested. In the United States, the states of Oregon and